Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Potter.
Okay, item number 5, we have another community group that's kind of silent doers, and they work continuously and have a lot of activities on a county-owned property that's probably worth over $1 million that we contribute, luckily, sporadically to, and they've kept it and maintained it and continue to host events, and the fairgrounds is a good asset to the county. And Betty Bradshaw put a report together that you all have in your packet on some, and Mark Whitehouse has been very instrumental in assisting with some inmate labor and continues to do projects out there that cost the county very little relative to what the value is. And we've continued to keep a little money in our budget for fairgrounds improvements because year in and year out you can't predict the weather, and it does impact the ability to fiscally do all the capital things that need to be done. So Betty, appreciate the report that you did.
Thank you all for allowing me to, and the Fair Board, to come to you all today and to present this. As you all know, fairgrounds are, they're aging, like a lot of facilities. Most of the buildings out there are 40 years old, and maybe a little older on some of them. We try to encourage as much community, not just during Fair Week, but all during the year, and different activities on a lot of the facilities out there. And so in taking in that, we have to really maintain and upkeep some of these buildings. And one of the things that's really been in worse shape most recently is the Floral Hall building. This is used by a lot of individuals that rent this for private parties, receptions, different things. A lot of corporate people use it for their Christmas parties, for meetings, and other things in the county are hosted. I know the Cattlemen Association uses at least once a month. So it gets used rather often, and it is really taken a lot of wear and tear over the last 30 plus years on it. So we've gone in there. That really had to be done was address the issues of our restrooms. They were really in bad shape. We had mold and stuff that was going on, so we had to completely gut them. And when we were in that, we were seeing a decline on use on this building, basically because it was getting in bad shape. So once we went in there and said, okay, what we need to have to be done, and then we looked at cosmetic, what other things we could do. So that was our top priority. We got bids. We've got at least 3 bids on the remodeling of that. They completely redid the bathrooms, gutted them, put new fixtures in, new tiles. We're painting. The interior is being painted, just about completed. I think just needs a little bit left to do. We also took out the big roll-up door that wasn't being used any longer. It used to be used years ago. A lot of times people would come in there and take floats and basically use that. That's about all it was used for, I ever knew. But we have other barns on the facility that they can use now. So we basically, that was just something that air was escaping out of. So taking that out and filling that in, insulating, hopefully that's going to help with the heating and cooling of the building. And then just making it look better. So taking that out and replacing with 2 nice double doors. And then our next thing that we're going to do also is have the exterior painted. So that hasn't quite done yet, so we'll get that done. And then we just got a lot of the other buildings that we just need to basically do some painting. They haven't been painted in probably 10 years or better on some of them. So some just minor stuff. We did have some tiling that we're going to be doing over in a kind of a swampy area that we're our new Western Horse Show ring and our Walking Horse show in that area. It's just a kind of a swampy area, so we're going to have tiling done for that. But for all of these things, I did get bids on all of them. So, and then, so As you can see, I've done an itemized listing of the cost on this, and that's what we're hoping to do. We try, basically, the Fair Board tries to be really pretty independent, but as y'all know, the last couple of years have been really bad fair weeks. We've lost money each year. And that last year, I think we only had really 2 good nights of fair because of the monsoon that set in the first week of July. So because of that, we're really low on funds. So we kind of would like to ask you all's help in getting these things done.
So the work's already been done, right?
Part of it is the floor hall, the restrooms, the remodeling, and that double door, and all the doors replaced, all that's been done. The painting on the interior is just about complete. They haven't started on the exterior yet, so.
So let me ask this, how much revenue do you derive off the rental of the, first of all, how much does it rent for? And I know you.
Depending on the type of event, we try to keep it low.
Sure.
But the rent, it varies on the type of event. It's either $200 or $400, depending
Okay.
on what type of event it is. But I don't know of it as far annually, I don't know, but it has been declining in the last couple of years, that total revenue that we get. We depend on, outside of Fair Week, we depend on the rental of that building and also our horse stalls. And that basically keeps the light bills on and the water running on the fairgrounds.
Mr. Cochran, I see, of course, again, that's part of Marion County public
Yeah.
property, so we own the facility.
Got
but-
30,000 those budgets, don't we?
20.
21.
20,
22 budget, they spent 21.
Yeah, so-
Spent about 1,000, looks like.
Yeah, so basically, we see
What's
a
the new
request for
budget got?
16,113,
30.
so motion to approve.
Thank you, guys.
It's been 20 years since you painted out there?
Some of the buildings, yes. Some of the buildings.
I want you to say 20, because if you said 10, and I agree to this,
10.
I tell my wife 10's not that long.
And just like most, she won't listen to you, I can tell you. Or she shouldn't, anyway.
See? All right. Thank you
Thank you,
all.
Betty.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you
Keep
for all
up
you
the
do
good
out there.
Thank you for your help.
Motion and second, we need to vote.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Is a lot of this gonna be able to get done before the fair this year?
Yes, sir. We're going to have it, hopefully have it all done before Fair Week, which is July.
Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it.
We are. Yes, we are.
Good answer.
Gonna have it done.
Pressure's on now. Okay, item number 6, we did just kind of an overview and handed out the budget last meeting. Treasurer Cochran, myself, we talked about the timeline. We've got to send this to Frankfurt. We've got to do our tweaking meeting. So, I mean, I think normally we sometimes even approve the first reading on the first introduction, but we probably need to at least have the first reading today so we can get that submittal to Frankfurt and get it back and meet those.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker? Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Unanimous.
We're gonna have a meeting.
Well, that's something we can go ahead and talk about. If y'all are prepared to meet on a Saturday morning like we usually do, at some point, probably, we talked about this Saturday or next Saturday, probably needs to be done before the 1st of June, because we got to get it to Frankfurt, and state and local finance officers got to review and approve it. You know, we have to modify it here to send, so.
Quicker the better, so they can get it 24 back.
That gives us plenty of time, don't it? Enough time for the next meeting.
It'll be next Saturday, not this
Right.
coming Saturday.
24th, we won't do it.
The 24th suits you all?
Yes.
Yeah, and then we'll have, yeah.
Y'all have some time to look at it between now and then, and
Yes,
maybe
sir.
come in with some
Sure.
modifications already in mind.
About 8 or
8 o'clock, sound good?
We've been meeting at 8, does that still
we've been
suit
doing.
everybody, 8 o'clock on 24th?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Copy done us, Kevin.
24th at 8 o'clock?
May 24th.
Okay.
Here in fiscal courtroom.
Sounds good.
And I'll advertise that be a special fiscal court meeting. Okay, item number 7 is an annual, we've got budgeted $30,000. This is a smaller amount, I guess, we've had. Last year it was $27,730, and a little less in grocery store transportation, and so that's a kind of a good trend.
Second.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Item number 8 is another kind of a standard procedure. I don't know that I had this amount. I think I've got $157,000 in the draft budget, but they have approved tentatively, and this was based on the after audit that they always do in August of the previous year's incurred cost. This year's is proposed to be $174,700, so the number I've got will have to be increased by about close to $20,000. So,
Is that, was the landscaping included on this? Were they?
it would depend upon when it was installed. If it was installed after August, it probably in this year's after audit. In other words, what they do is they look at everything that's been spent in maintenance and repair and utilities and custodial, and their next year's allocation is different year to year based on what the incurred costs were the previous year. In other words, this 157 we got this year obviously was not enough.
Yes,
So they come back and they really kind of delay the payment to the next year based on what you actually incur. So it changes year to year, but I'm sure that we've got those bills for landscaping pulled and will be in their audit for, it'll be accounted for.
All right, motion to approve the ALC's reimbursement amendment.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Okay, item number 9 is a standard item of business we've done for the last several years. Embedded the public hearings for use of county road aid and the use of local government economic assistance funds in our, it was advertised and planned to be held at 4 o'clock, which we're running a little different than that, but we would entertain a motion to close the regular meeting to open a meeting on the hearing on the use of county road aid.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Elder? Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker? Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Okay, as advertised, the draft budget does have the road budget embedded within that, and the use of county road aid is limited to care and maintenance of county roads, and that is where it's all budgeted, and the allocation for this coming year has been determined, and it's in the draft budget. And if anybody has any questions, comments during this open public hearing on the use of county road aid, we'd be more than glad to hear those.
Judge, I'll make a motion to close the meeting, considering we have no comments.
Second.
Close the hearing on county road aid.
Yes.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Okay, now I'd entertain a motion to open a public hearing on the use of local government economic assistance funds, LGEA funds.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Yeah, the LGEA funds can only be used for certain public protection, vocational education. We've typically had LGEA funds assigned to enhance 911 project signage, fire department training building use, some new hydrants, and of course we've been assisting our handicapped projects with some of the projects there. Those are all labeled qualifying project areas, and in the draft budget those same intended uses are planned for the next fiscal year. Does anybody have any comments, questions, or any input relative to the use of the LGEA funds for fiscal year 14-15?
Judge, I'll make a motion to close the meeting of the LGA funds.
Second. Also.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Okay, now I entertain a motion to go into regular session, resume regular session of the
Motion.
fiscal court meeting.
Second.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker? Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Item number 10 is the department reports. Usually start out with the road, and Jimmy Rakes has presented a written report, and it looks like things are moving along on schedule.
They should, maybe.
Is there anything else that you would like to add to the written report, Jimmy?
Looks good.
All right, everything's
Everything running all right?
pretty steady?
You're doing a good job.
I
We
don't-
appreciate it.
I don't see extra gray hair in your head, so that's a good sign. Oh, gotcha.
So good? Yeah.
Can I see his report? Can I see his report?
Thank you very much.
Good job. Thank you.
Okay, the second department
Good
reports,
report.
solid waste. Mr. Brock has a good report here in the summary, and anybody have any questions for Mr. Brock on his report?
No, looks good.
Excellent
Good
report.
You been out in the sun? Enjoy your vacation? Yeah.
Hey, looks
Did you ever
younger.
get any response out of that one summons you had to write up there?
Well, I had alluded in my, there's two complaints that I was working on, and I'm probably going to be actionable this week, and one of them, I had to sign a criminal summons against this individual, cited him for two environmental laws. One was criminal littering, it was in Mr. Masterson's district, criminal littering, and also air quality, illegal open burning, so that's pending. That summons is in process now.
Was it him? Was it him?
Oh, I thought it said Mr. Master.
It was me.
And the second issue, environmental issue I'm working on, I'm working with the county attorney. The house that has the problem I'm working on is currently in foreclosure. And Joe and I have talked about it, and we're trying to find the party's site. Because the individual I sent the certified letter to doesn't pick up the money. So we're working that one too, and I think that's in Magistrate Wells District. I'll brief you on that one.
They clean up their act more.
Gotcha. You know, also, I guess everyone knows that the radon tests are up here.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
Right.
So just make sure everybody's aware that they can pick up the radon kit here at the judge's house.
Free of charge.
Free of charge. It's service of the Marion County Fiscal Court.
I picked up some myself last week.
You know, an interesting side note to that is we administered that particular radon initiative through the health department for many years. I started it back in the early 80s, and the health department chose they weren't getting any funding for it, and they chose not to drop the program. As a result of that, we took it into my office, so now we're doing all the radon again in my office locally, and we're providing free test kits for anybody in Marion County, because it's a real issue.
It is a real issue, and I hope everybody does take advantage of, I mean, it's free, so you know,
Right.
it's a very simple thing, so.
Another thing too is Dr. Salem and some of the local doctors that I've worked with through the many last 30 years would attest to the fact that we do have smoking gun radon deaths in this county. People having radon gas. So you need to test your house.
Good thing.
It's free.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so.
Yeah, they're here.
Thank you, Mr. Brock.
Thanks, sir.
Hey, Mr. Brock.
Talking about the abandoned or foreclosed properties, I know that was in the Courier a couple months ago. Louisville, Jefferson County government's got a lot of abandoned properties and foreclosed on. Luckily, we haven't had quite the housing bust here. Got a few published, master commissioner properties, but they went so far as, I guess, to, I think they enacted some ordinances going back on whoever the holding creditor is for maintenance of the property. I don't know how much enforcement that they're getting, but
They put liens on the property.
Yeah.
County liens.
after a while, they've even torn them down and built that against the value of the lot or whatever, but thank you, Keith.
Marion County, we've got, everybody that wants a job has a job, and tax rate's low, so we don't have much of that kind of problem here.
I don't know about, I do know the
Because
tax rate's
of
low.
this court.
Yeah, the tax rate's low, I will say that.
Okay, you all had in your, on your desk today, I guess Captain Whitehouse brought up Jailer Brady's report. Looks like that the jail population is holding steady.
That's always
thankfully.
good.
We're blessed that we've got
Absolutely.
good support to keep the numbers up in the program areas as well. He had in his report, I guess, the discontinuation of the 1999 Cruiser and requested that, I guess, we declare it surplus and maybe publish an ad for probably a sealed bid process.
Motion to approve the 1999 Cruiser from the Marion County Detention Center and the Jailer's Cruiser 2005 Crown Vic surplus
Second.
to be sealed bid.
No, he's going to keep the 2005 and bid it.
I say we get rid of it.
They're gonna put it in service.
Say it's time he walks a little bit, you know?
Service and actually,
Tell Jailer Brady I about gave his Cruiser away, all right?
So we're keeping the Cruiser.
Yeah, we're getting rid of the
the
1999.
99 just surplus.
Should you choose to replace both of them, we will accept that.
We're not, yeah, I understand.
So we'll take
Thank
one
you.
motion at a time. That is the
Jill,
surplus
about
out
that
the
good.
99 Cruiser.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Unanimous.
And I guess the other part was that the 2005 was going to kind of replace it and been through with the cage to do that. The other,
Already, it's ready to go on the fleet.
put it in service. And the last part of this request was he has a bid for one to replace the 2005, and that is the 2000.
The 1999.
Right.
That's a typo on the 2005. We're going to keep it as.
Actually going to replace the 2005 for Jailer's car with the 2011 Crown Vic. So,
Sounds good.
It's on your
I
paper.
hope that's what you're doing, because that's what the
That's what it
paperwork
says anyway.
Yeah.
okay, would there be a motion to approve the purchase of this vehicle?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Anything else the jailer or you all need to report on besides what was in the report?
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Mark.
Hey, Robbie, EMS?
We're at 889 runs for the year. All of those systems were installed last Friday on the line. They're all working well. Everything's going good with that. The last bid on the basement for the actual building repair was approved last Friday through the judge. And so I called Danny Mann, had a bid on that, approved. And they came out Tuesday morning and hoping within a week or a week and a half, all that'd be finished down there. With all the rain we got, where we've moved gutters and done that kind of stuff and pulled the pumps, done just fine.
That's good.
So,
It's good.
even though we're not mechanical engineers, taking 3 downspout pole that you haven't pumped the water out of, we've made advancement.
Common sense changes.
Yeah.
A lot to be said for it. I know a lot of government agencies that spend a lot of big money on engineers to develop plans, and but I want to thank you guys. Y'all did a good job.
Absolutely. What about all the equipment? Have they already paid on all the equipment that was down there? But there's some other things that we
That list should be done. I'm hoping we'll have it done next week in Tooling. I mean, I hate we got a couple other things he's gonna get to me. I want to submit it all at one time. That way they don't have can't well say we drug something out. When I give it to them, I want it to all be there, so if they have any questions, we can get it taken care of.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
That's all I have, unless y'all have any questions.
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Hayden, Emergency Management.
Well, I just want to remind everybody, Saturday's going to be a busy day in Marion County. There'll be a lot of extra traffic that's been run and things going on.
I know they're gonna grind up the street. They're not gonna start that before Saturday, are they? Downtown, they're gonna do some street work. Yeah, they're gonna, between Mulberry and Main, they're gonna, where they've been blacktopping, part of that water company's been down there lowering some meters and stuff. I don't think they'll be doing it tomorrow, but
I saw the street closures and the other changes that were going to be affected by the Color in Motion run, and of course the Pope's Creek's got Veterans Day ceremonies and concert and lots of different events going on, so. Okay, thank you, Hayden.
Thanks, sir.
The Animal Control, I know Kay has been in, and Sarah, I've talked to her a couple times. The ad was in the paper for applications for a part-time
She's,
temporary, and
yeah, she's been going through them and got a couple she's interested, gonna interview
propose
and
maybe
look
the
at.
next meeting.
Yeah, and still not sure about who or what yet, but she's looked at, got some applications, and everything else is going pretty well out there, she said.
Yeah, I guess that concludes our department reports. I would entertain a motion to go into executive session for KRS 61810, real property discussion.
Second. Close executive session.
Second.
Second.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Okay, item number 13, we'll skip over payment of bills just for a minute. We had an advertisement for fuel bids and for road material bids, and I have two envelopes, please, so we'll open them up. I guess first one is on sealed bid for asphalt and stone from one submitter.
Wonder who's that from?
Hayden,
One bid?
one rock quarry, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to get in.
The single
You start
bid
your own rock.
suppliers is kind of the norm around the state of Kentucky, seems like. Darn, they got good glue on their envelope.
They can afford good glue.
Okay, the price for tack oil is $3.50. Price for bituminous surface, FOB plant is $59.95, exactly the same as last year.
Wow.
Which with oil prices, $59.95.
That's a good thing.
And rock dense grade, $9.55. Number 3, $9.60. Riprap, $12.25. 57's $10.75. And number 9's $10.75. Looks like from last year's bid, number 3 went up a nickel a ton, 50 cents on riprap, and 50 cents on the other two, 57s and 9s.
Motion to accept the bid.
Second.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
It was, John.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Okay, on the fuel bid, have one bid from D&R Oil Company, same bidder we had last year.
Make a motion right now.
Miss Pauline,
We better read it first, I think.
Pauline Bergen. Looks like it's 10 cents above rack, which is just what they're going to add on to their wholesale price. Same bid structure as last year.
On all of it?
For regular unleaded gas, which we probably don't use a lot of, but we're at $3.57.9 last year, and it's $3.60 this year. It's only a 2.1 cent increase. The premium unleaded had a pretty good jump. Went from $3.93 to $4.10.
I don't think we use much of that, do we?
Probably not.
Don't, we shouldn't be.
I hope we don't.
And the blessing here
Unless
is
it's
that
law enforcement or EMS, then I think we should.
Lawnmowers.
blessing here is that diesel fuel went from $3.81.9 to $3.74. Had a 8 cent decrease.
Wow.
Two that we probably use the most of, very little change or actually decrease. So that's a good thing.
If it goes down, our price goes down.
We have the right to ask for their wholesale invoices to check to see if they are staying within their 10 cent price
Is that all,
quote.
Judge?
And I know Mr. Cochran does that on, I think, a quarterly basis. And I'd like to thank you, Mr. Cochran, for doing that.
Second.
Okay, motion approved.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Unanimous.